Hi everyone, my name is Raquel.
I'm Samartha.
I'm Amelia.
I'm Will. Andrew.
Jacob.
And we are Team LearnFresh, which we stand for STEM Education for All. So LearnFresh realizes that there's an ongoing issue with access and achievement gaps with STEM education, especially with girls, students of color, and those living in low-income communities. So what we envision is a future where, after providing our free services to both the educators and students, we can use their passion in entertainment and sports for them to become more eager in learning about STEM, social, and also their emotional learning while they're taking these services and even after they're done taking these services.
As of now, LearnFresh has 3 core games and programs. This includes NBA Math Hoops, MLB Player STEM League, as well as MLS STEM Goals. This is an example of the NBA Math Hoops game. The NBA Math Hoops game is teaching fundamentals, like fundamental mathematics to the kids and teaching them about basketball along the way. The MLB Player STEM League is focusing on middle school age group and is also focused on different STEM subjects, but primarily mathematics. And the MLS STEM Goals program is a new program that was just launched that they're piloting in Sacramento right now. They partnered with the USL Championship, which is one of the soccer leagues, and this is just widening their reach to different sports in different communities. To make this all possible, LearnFresh has to partner with a lot of different brands. One of the most important partnerships LearnFresh has with Hasbro, the major toy making company. Hasbro, as a nonprofit, LearnFresh seeks out these companies that are looking to fulfill their philanthropic goals for the year, and Hasbro is one of those companies that actually produces these physical board games at free of cost for LearnFresh. Other important key partners for LearnFresh are the sports teams and the sports leagues. As you can see here, they're able to use the NBA logo, they're able to use player pictures, and all this different intellectual property that they wouldn't be able to use otherwise. This is good for both the NBA, MLB, as well as LearnFresh, because both sides get to benefit off the public perception these leagues gain, as well as getting students into the NBA and MLB at a young age.
So as Will said, it's a nonprofit, and so because of that, the business model operates a lot similarly to a lot of other nonprofits. If you take a look at the pie chart, you'll see that 50% of their annual revenue comes from philanthropic organizations or companies like AT&T who want to donate for philanthropic reasons. The next 35% comes from the actual sports teams and leagues that they're partnered with, and leagues like the MLB, MLS, and US Soccer League. And then the last 50% comes from personal donations. And in total, annually, this equates up to $5 million in revenue, which they've used to serve more than 750,000 students in total and over 7,000 educators. And this revenue all essentially goes towards staffing, as well as being able to provide these programs to educators and schools for free. So both the programs, the STEM programs, and the trainings themselves are provided for free. And so the education industry in whole is obviously extremely important in creating the future and developing the next generation of leaders. And LearnFresh has resegmented this market to focus specifically on STEM supplemental education modules instead of just entirely changing curriculums. And they've been able to grow along with the STEM education industry in general. STEM has been more and more emphasized on in the classroom, outside the classroom, in daily lives. And on top of this, there are over 53 million K-12 students in America. And so as a result of that, and because of their partnerships with all these leagues and teams that are spread throughout the US, they've been able to grow domestically very rapidly, and hopefully can do that even more and expand abroad in the near future.
So currently the way that LearnFresh makes an impact and targets its audience is it doesn't really go the traditional way of marketing. It really utilizes the After School Alliance, which is an online website that hosts all after school programs within this nationwide. So they really utilize that, and also they utilize going to conferences, educational conferences, to kind of build their network, and it's really by referrals that they kind of reach out to these new schools. But we really want them to kind of improve on their social media marketing, because they do have these social media platforms, but they don't really utilize it that much. And then also really want them to increase the referrals from teachers as well. And then the pricing as it is right now is that all the programming is free of charge for educators and students. And then the way that they deliver their products right now is through in-person and online trainings for the educators, and then also with physical board games that students can use in class or out of class and after school programs, or even they have some mobile applications for the NBA Math Group right now. So that's one way that they deliver. And then, of course, as a nonprofit, there are other nonprofits who are pretty much doing the same, and for-profit organizations that are using sports as well to kind of increase STEM education. But 3 ways that LearnFresh stands out is the major sports leagues and gaming licensing that they have, so that kind of makes it easier for them to be seen as credible and to build that initial trust with the students and the educators that they're trying to reach out to, and also the potential partners that they're trying to reach out to as well. And then also, they're really focused on an equitable representation. So if you look at the sports that they're choosing sports that are accessible to these students already. So they're not choosing sports that they don't have access to. And then also, their whole main goal is also being innovative and creating a community-centric atmosphere. So with their programs that they do, they also have like community events, and they also have like these championship events within regions that they have their programs at as well.
So here's a little look at the LearnFresh team. We divided it up into the top row being internal employees, and then the bottom row is external partners, people who help LearnFresh from an advisory capacity. So on the top you see the CEO, Nick, and I won't go through all their names, but mostly on the bottom row, what you're looking at here is different people from investment groups and different people who can serve as advisors in the STEM industry to help LearnFresh connect with these sports leagues and other nonprofit organizations. So you see on the left from the Schultz Family Foundation, David McGee, you kind of see how other foundations can work with LearnFresh to achieve a similar goal. And then obviously an example of an NBA player right there who they partner with to work with his charity organizations and use our supplemental materials to help them at their events. And then right here on this slide, what we're talking about is our customer discovery and our ability and the company's ability to listen to educators and students. So a lot of our customer discovery was based around actually talking to students who use these supplemental materials and figure out the strengths and weaknesses and what types of STEM education they'd like to see more in their own classroom. And then also the educators from the standpoint of how these additives can fit their curriculum. So,
yeah, so after talking to different educators and different students and also the LearnFresh team, we've come up with 2 main objectives. The first one is to increase school application. So LearnFresh has really solidified themselves as an after-school and a supplemental education nonprofit. But the main thing is after COVID, they've really struggled with getting back into the classroom. So that's like a big objective that they want to implement. And then the second one is to expand geographically. Their partnerships with the NBA, MLS, and MLB really like spread them out throughout the country and put them in a lot of really big key cities, but filling in the rest of the gaps in the United States and seeing what that might look like even on a global scale is something that they're thinking of. In terms of more specifically what we're looking for, really talking to educators about what we can do to put this back in the classroom. So seeing if there's any homework applications. We know that teachers face a lot of strict rules about what they can do in terms of their curriculum, but we think that homework might be a really great place for them to have a little more leeway and maybe implement this in a really engaging way. Also talking to some of the students, homework isn't really something that's super engaging, and maybe applying these games to it would really help that. So, but talking to the teachers as the main way to get that information. And then the second way would be to create an incentivized referral program, really utilizing the partnerships that we have with different sports leagues and teams. We see this as a lot of different teams have educators at the games or educator awareness days or whatever, and incentivizing teachers to recommend other teachers using their networks in their districts or in other districts, give them tickets to a Pistons game, give them a signed t-shirt or whatever to really incentivize them to spread the word. And then the last thing that we talked about is hiring collegiate athletes through NIL. There are a lot of places in the country where big sports teams like the NBA, like NBA teams might not be there. So using college athletes to kind of invest money in them to get that relationship, hopefully when they go to the big leagues to use LearnFresh as a part of their philanthropic goals, we see that as a really great opportunity. And then we just wanted to thank Nick and the LearnFresh team, Professor Tarver, and then all of you guys for participating today, and yeah.
Can I jump in with a question before you guys? Sure. You said give Pistons tickets for an incentive?
Hey, just make a big
Terrible. It's not fair. Schools, high schools particularly, are driven by evaluating outcomes. Does this work?
Yeah, we've seen that there, especially like middle school and elementary like math participation can like have great outcomes on even like high school graduation. And I think there's some statistics, I don't know if you guys have the numbers, but they've seen like a lot of increase in like STEM literacy and also just like engagement. Like a lot of the teachers have said, like, my students have never been so excited about doing math and have never like said, I want to go do this math. So really just like that engagement factor, even if we don't have like the specific tangible numbers, like they're really excited about math and really excited about science, and that's something that they didn't have before.
And I do believe that they did a study that they have on their website that shows that there was like a % increase in like standardized score, like their test scores by using this. I want to say it's like 25 or 27%, something around there. It was either high school graduation rate or standardized testing scores, but they did do some research onto that.
Thank you.
So you mentioned that they were trying to expand to some different areas and, you know, working with college athletes and the like. So what are they considering when looking to expand? What's the demographic that they're after?
So yeah, right now they're mostly working with like schools that are like underfunded, or just like they are the ones that have like the least amount of resources, and teachers have a lot more extra stresses in that. And so we kind of saw this like collegiate program as a way to like kind of also do that, but also branch into like more like regular schools. Like for example, like Ann Arbor has Detroit, but for example, like I don't know, like University of like Nebraska or like Alabama or something, like they don't really have like that pro team that's like that everyone kind of feels that connect to. And so we thought like with these new rules of how college athletes can be paid and like how they can make deals, we thought it would be not only it's a more cost efficient way, because like you don't have to pay college students as much as you have to pay like actual pro athlete, but we thought at the same time it would be a good way to kind of break into new areas. And it kind of like having these college athletes, we thought it's like even like an extra incentive, because like there are people who are like in higher level education at the same time kind of engaging with athletics, which is kind of like this whole kind of the program circle about. So we thought it was just a good like intersection of kind of how LearnFresh operates now.
And you could even have the tournament on one of the college campuses, get the kids to come and see a campus.
Yeah, promote higher education to the kids.
Just I guess the main one I'm just thinking through is just following up on the point about the targeted demographics. You mentioned there's some partnering or affiliations with some city schools. I just wonder if there's like certain, if it's a national portfolio of if the target market is national, are there particular regions that maybe you can target particular regions that will be a benchmark for others? In addition, I know that like homeschool population for African Americans is rising percentage-wise. Is that an opportunity to be able to like target them? That's more specific, and there's co-ops and other things you can target to go there. I'm just really thinking where can this make the most impact, and then being able to leverage that to achieve the greater scale you're looking for. You know, the college athlete piece may be a portion of it, but really understanding where the desire is to bring this stuff in, and knowing the customer, I think, is really going to be instrumental to get this off the ground to the greater scale that you're looking. Just a comment.
Yeah, just to touch on that, I spoke with a member at LearnFresh about the homeschooling side of things.
Sure.
That's a really great like market that's not really like fully being addressed or like marketed really strongly to in like anywhere in the industry. And like parents who are like homeschooling their kids are looking for those really engaging ways to get their students involved. The struggle that they've had with that is like how to market to those parents. So we've talked a little bit about like different Facebook groups and different like ways that those parents kind of connect with each other. But that especially getting back in the classroom and also marketing to homeschooled kids is something that they're really looking forward to.
Well, one way to do it, just throwing it out there, there's, I'll call it like 5 main homeschool curriculum, whether it's religious-based or non. There's like Beyond the Page, and there's some like advanced stuff. Then there's more Christian-oriented ones. Partnering with them to be able to embed some of this in part of the kit that they send to the homeschool students may be the route to go, rather than looking for kind of where do they congregate or gather. So just
Look, she's here.
Oh, she's here.
All right, thank you all very much. Good job.